Hello, you're watching Proactive London. I'm joined by Simon Deacon. He's the CEO of Light Science Technologies. Simon, very good to speak with you today.
Good morning. Good to see you again.
So Simon, what drew the blue chip customer to your solution and how do you plan to win more?
We received an order contract for just over £750,000 from a blue chip construction company, which is actually worldwide. And we received that because we show and demonstrate through previous projects that we've done with injector fire barrier and the injector clad material, installing it in a way where it saves the client money because the turnaround is pretty quick, but also you don't need to remove the facade of the building and put traditional fire stopping in. So it's a really a good way of remedying an issue that you might have in a building, as we see throughout the country with over 11,000 buildings require new fire stopping within them.
And do you think this initial contract will lead to further work with the same customer, Simon?
I do. We're seeing that across the board. So each client that we deal with have an estate where they've got a large property portfolio. And what we're seeing is that when we've done one project with them, it then leads to another. We recently talked to a client who's got 300 properties in his estate, which require fire remedial work doing. And what we're seeing there is that, you know, on an average price of around 500,000 per building, and you've got 300 of them to do that just with one client, you can see that the actual size from one client, the market is worth to us. So you can see where the £50 billion market comes from in the passive fire protection division.
You also signed a £600,000 contract for IFB in November. How's that progressing?
Yes, really well. The clients up in Salford, we're doing a number of tower blocks and we continue to do those. So that's progressing on target. We're really pleased with how that's going. And we also believe that will lead to more work as we're in further discussions on other blocks in that area with the same client. So really strong moving as we see our converted quoted pipeline getting converted, which is really important to us.
Simon, PFP promises to be an exciting growth market. Can you tell us more about the retrofit market?
Yeah, the retrofit market is huge. Obviously, after the dreadful episode and what happened at Grenfell, the government brought in a number of acts, the Fire Safety Act and the Building Safety Act. And this has made contractors, building owners, having actually to do something to make these buildings safe. And what we're seeing, there's an awful lot of student accommodation, hospitals, apartment blocks, office blocks, hotels, all require this remedial work doing across the country. So there's around 33,000 buildings which need attending to. There's around 20 years worth of work. And there's 11,000 buildings which are what we call high risk, and they're over 11 meters tall. So there's lots of work, and it's about doing it in a professional manner and showing that. And obviously through our group, we can demonstrate that with many projects that we've done, not just in passive fire protection, but in the controlled environment and the contract electronics manufacturing side as well.
So with the IFB market looking strong, Simon, how do you plan to capitalize on it?
Quotes are coming through literally every day for us to do. So inquiries, it's keeping up with the inquiries to do because as injector clad grows and the material gets demonstrated and put in and the fire officers see this and see how good it is, and it also being tested at Warrington Fire to prove the concept that it does work against different building makeups. We are capitalizing on this by giving talks, getting our name out there further to keep up and inquiries, but also employ. And recently we've employed Sean Tasker as the new MD for the division. And that will really help us deliver and build on what we've already got. We've got a £10 million quoted pipeline so far. and we expect to continue to build on that and also close those out into contracts as we go out throughout the year.
Looking at the overall business, Simon, how's it looking for the rest of the year?
The group's looking really good in all divisions. Contract electronics manufacturing is progressing well. Year on year, we've seen growth in that company and cash generative. In the controlled environment of agriculture, we're seeing more inquiries and conversion of those inquiries, more importantly. I think a lot of our investors want to see those converted, and we are converting them. So with the passive fire and the group overall, I think we'll see significant growth, but more importantly, see the margins increase in the group, which will also flow through to being cash generative by the end of the year. So we're really positive. The management's really positive the way things are going, and we're looking forward to the next half of the year.
I'm sure we'll be chatting again soon. Simon, thank you very much for the update today.
Thank you very much.
That's Simon Deacon. He's the CEO of Light Science Technologies.